Before I get started, I need an opinion. You see this cookie here? It's a windmill cookie. And what do you think when you think of windmills? You think of Dutch people. You think of wooden shoes and tulips and funny hats. You think of the way they talk. Sounds like whoop, boop, 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 boop. You know, like a muffler underwater. And so is a cookie helping to perpetuate unfortunate ethnic stereotypes, or it is a vehicle to evoke that kind of humor? I'm going to leave you with we'll start off with that as a little joke, a little levity before we get to the serious matter at hand. And I've got to admit, right now, there's something that just got me disgusted. And it's not just the people doing it, but the people who sit there and watch this show and say, oh, how wonderful. There's something we need called character. A personality of integrity, honesty, trustworthiness, truthfulness, fairness, courage, and at the same time the ability to give the other guy the benefit of the doubt. Certain generosity of spirit. Because character is not a small, shriveling thing. It's big and expansive. And we all prize it. I prize it a lot because a part of my life I didn't have it. And getting it took a lot of hard work, you know. There was a time in my life when I was the shop steward for the Villains, Thieves, and Scoundrels Union, Local 13. And I had to overcome that. And having done that and knowing what it's like to live that way as opposed to trying to live with a degree of character, I can tell you for a fact why that old way is wrong and this way is right. This is a good way to live. And especially when you meet more and more people who exhibit these same good qualities, which I'm doing now even more than ever. And so it really annoys me when I see people who want the public trust, who put themselves off as people of value and of worth, doing things that call that into question. Character is a 360-degree thing. You think of yourself, your life, as a circle. If you have character, character has to cover the whole spread. If it's only covering on 180 degrees or 270 degrees and the rest there's something shady or weaselly, you don't have character. You're a fraud. You can't be a person of integrity on one side and be the village weasel dealer on the other. Plain and simple. And what's disgusting is that people who you would think would know better obviously don't, are putting themselves off as leaders and teachers and such. But they're pulling these weasel dealers. You know, I think of the one guy, how can a guy be a man of character if he goes running around cheating on his wife with women half his age, humiliates her? Of course, there's a divorce coming there if it hasn't already happened. But how can you say doing that you have character, that you hurt someone who's supposed to be the most important person in your life? I don't see it. How can you claim to be a really great guy if you were caught with your hand in a cookie jar skimming the till? I don't see it. Because there's something I'm going to remind you of. If they did it to someone else, they'll do it to you. Believe me, you can go to the bank on that. If they did it to someone else, what's to stop them doing it to you? I know cases of people when I counsel people, and they'd sit there and tell you all the rotten things they'd done to people. And some idiots hearing that would think, oh, they're confiding in me. They'd never do that to me. The hell they won't. They did. They did it to these naive jerks. Because they're not confiding, they're just yapping. You know, it's like the story of the Indian and the snake. The Indian's coming down the mountain, sees a dying snake there. As he's walking by, the snake says, "Carry me down the mountain, please. I'm dying of cold." The Indian says, "No, you're poisonous. You'll bite me." And the snake begs him to take him down the mountain, and the Indian relents. And he gets down the mountain where it's warmer, and the snake starts warming up. And The snake says, put me on that rock there. And just as he puts him on the rock, the snake bites him and gives him a full load of venom. And the Indian said, I saved your life. Why did you do that to me? You poisoned me. I'm dead. And the snake says, you knew before you picked me up what I was. I think it goes with people too. Now, the only time there may be a difference is when people do wrong, if they admit the wrong, apologize for it, and go to amend the situation and go to fix the problem. But the people in question haven't done that yet, and I doubt some of them ever will. You know, the one sign of a lacking character is a person who cannot admit he's wrong, a person who refuses to apologize to others for the wrong, and who refuses to take action, remedial action, to do something about it and to make amends. The word unrepentant is not a nice word to fling at someone, but that's what describes a person who cannot take and admit his wrongdoing. See, and there's a lack of character. Having character doesn't say that we'll never do anything wrong, but it does say that if we do, we'll address it. We'll come and we'll say, yes, I did this. Now, some folks use the excuse, well, I did that in my private life. But if you're a public figure, your private life becomes public too. Because private or public, it's still your life. And what you did in public or in private, it doesn't matter. You did it. So if you're the kind of guy who do that in private, what's to stop it from coming in public? So correct yourself. Take the time to say, I screwed up. Give me the benefit of the doubt. You tell people, give me the benefit of the doubt enough at least that let me try and fix this mess that I caused. Let me try and get better than this. That's a lot more honest than acting like nothing happened. As we see in one place where now anyone who doesn't just ignore what happened, they stop communicating with them. You know, that's the old trick. Well, if I don't talk to them, I don't have to hear about it. What I'm getting to the point here is that what you do in private, you will eventually do in public. You cannot hide one from the other. And if you're acting like a buffoon, if you're weaseling people, if you get caught with your hand in a cookie jar, you can't say, I'm a man of character. The only way you get to say that again is if you address those problems, fix them, apologize, and make amends. And in the course, make sure that you never do them again. Improve yourself to be the person who does not do those kind of things. That is character. But right now, I'm disgusted because it's not just these buffoons who are doing these things, but the people sitting there, their hero. You're going to hear a lot of things. People try and explain away anything, but look at what you're saying. You know, look at what you're saying. When I see people making amends, when I see people correcting their wrongs, then I can trust them. But until they do that, as long as they excuse them away or conceal them or give a big smile and, oh, well, I'm not proven guilty yet. I can't afford to trust them. I can't afford to believe them. When truthfulness has been abrogated, it has to be earned again. You don't just get that back as, oh, gee, you know, you made a mistake. Fine, you're a wonderful guy now. You got to earn it back. You know, I'm just disgusted that certain people who claim to represent heathen ideals and such are setting such a bad example like that. You know, we don't need that. If you're going to make yourself public, get that 360-degree integrity. Work at that. Because again, here we go with the Jamaican saying, the higher the monkey climbs, the more his ass shows. And it certainly fits. Character is a 360-degree thing. Get it, use it, be it, and don't be bamboozled by those people who think they only can be part-time characters. This is Uncle Thor signing out.